I want to forget that. And it's just so great to be with you. So we're going to start seated, and I'd like for you to have some height under your hips. And for those of you who came to our in-person class, we're not doing the same class, but there's some similar attributes to it, which can actually be kind of nice within your practice as well. So having something to sit up on, maybe you have a couple blocks that you put next to each other, or you have a couple of blankets. We will definitely have use of a blanket and a block a little later in our practice as well, as we find some restorative stuff to finish our practice out. But come into your seat. And as I was saying at the very beginning, when everyone was coming on, now we were talking about just how some of us were so super active, and that's a really it's really difficult for those of us who are very active and who want to just keep going to settle down and to kind of nurture that that aspect of ourselves. Our minds just go all over the place, and that's totally normal. Everybody does it. Even the most practiced of meditation practitioners have thoughts that come in and flow. And our goal is, the physical practice is just a small part of it. But the physical practice sort of helps us get out, kind of get out some of the jitters. It helps us to focus on our breath, to open up the physical structures of the body so that we can find a little bit more calm. And as those thoughts come in, the goal is to become less carried away with them, to attach less emotional attachment to them, becoming more responsive throughout all of the variables of our lives. We have a very needy little kitty here, and her tail is wet from sitting in the shower. Variables. See, we live in a sea of variables. So finding a tall spine, having height under your hips encourages lengthening, what's called axial extension of the spine. Your chin maybe coming a little bit towards your chest as your shoulders stack over your hips. And the crown of your head extends. Let your jaw soften and your eyes soften. And take a deep breath and sigh it out. Just letting your whole being come to your mat, to your practice, or whatever time of day it is. Sukhasana, easy seat. This is the original yoga posture. It is a posture of becoming more aware of how you hold your body. Maybe releasing tension, learning where you gather tension. Let's play around a little bit with your shoulders. Bring your shoulders up to your ears. Give yourself a real scrunch. Even scrunch your fists. Just like you're gonna throw a little fit. Take a deep breath in, hold it for a moment, and then let it go, and just let your arms come down and feel that shift. And we'll do it again, just squeezing everything in. Take a deep breath in, and then let it go. Wow. That kind of tension and relaxation releases tension you don't even think about. I'm gonna roll your shoulders up to your ears and back down a few times. And this is a nice opportunity to allow your breath to come into your awareness. Feeling this movement make its way through your shoulders, through your back body. Go the other direction with your shoulder rolls. And then make your shoulders come back up. One more tension, 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 tension. Inhale and exhale. Let it go. Very nice. Wiggle around. Extend your legs long. Let your arms come out. Make some circles with your wrists and your ankles, your fingers and toes. Stretching, open, and squeezing your fingers, your toes, getting into this connective tissue. And think of how much tension you might hold in your hands, in your wrists and your ankles and feet. Your feet hold you up all the time, and your hands, you're always grabbing things and doing stuff with them. So encouraging a little release of that tension. Squeeze your fists, squeeze your toes in. Take a deep breath and exhale as you relax. I'll let your hands come down. Let's make our way into tabletop. Maybe you have a blanket under your knees and tabletop. And let your wrists be underneath of your shoulders, your knees underneath of your hips. Find some cows and cats to kind of bring this movement that you found in your hands and your shoulders into your spine, and even that movement that you just found in your feet and ankles kind of makes its way up into your pelvis, your tailbone. Moving with your breath. Let's do some happy puppy, looking over one shoulder and over the other shoulder. Draw your hip in towards your shoulder. Stretching and strengthening this large square-shaped muscle that sort of helps you to lift your hip, and can also be helpful for strengthening your hips and offering support to your spine. Back to a neutral place. Keep your hips over your knees and walk your hands out in front of you, so it becomes like a half downward facing dog. Allow your chest to sink down towards your mat. And press through your hands, press through your fingers, and your bum stays lifted. You can kind of feel these downward facing dog actions in your hands and your wrists. And take a deep breath and let it go. And coming back up to tabletop. We're going to stretch each leg behind. So stretching your right leg behind you. And getting that length, that extension there. And then bring your knee in towards your nose. And extend your leg long again. Maybe bring your toes to the ground or keep your leg lifted. And then bring your knee into your nose. Extend your leg. You can place the toes on the ground or keep your leg lifted. And then bring your knee back down. We're going to do the other side. Extend your left leg long behind you. Press through your heel. Your breath is a barometer of how you feel. Bring your knee in towards your nose. And then extend. Maybe your toes are lifted off of the ground. Maybe they're on the ground. Knee in towards your nose. Extend. And one more, knee in towards your nose. And another nice extend. And bring your knee back down to the ground. Thread the needle. Extend your right arm out to the side. Open twist as much as you go, feeling length through your fingertips up towards the ceiling. Maybe it's in an angle, maybe it's straight, doesn't matter. Take a deep breath and let it go as your arm comes underneath on your shoulder, makes its way down towards the ground. Maybe your shoulder rests on even a block. I mean, you can kind of play with your blocks here. I could bring a block under my shoulder and a block under my head. If it was too tight, I'm able to come all the way down to the ground. It feels pretty good to me, so don't do that. But you can bring the earth up to meet you. Wherever you are, breathing here, making any other movements that you like in a thread the needle type of stretch, and letting your right hand relax and release. And press through your left hand and lift yourself back up. Open twist, and your hand comes down. And we'll go to the other side. Re-engage your standing hand, the hand you're resting on, I guess. Extend your left arm out to the side and open twist. This one just feels good. Breathing. Take a deep breath. And exhale. Bring your arm underneath. Let your shoulder come down towards the ground. You don't realize how stiff you are in the morning until you start to try to do this and you say, oh, wow, a little stiff. Breathing into your back body. Making any other movements that you like, following your personal preferences as we move through our practice. Press through your right hand, lift yourself back up, open up, and to bring your hand down. You might, if it works for you, to come into kind of a lightning bolt pose, I think, something like that, sitting back on your heels. You can do that. If that doesn't work for you, maybe you keep a kind of hips off of your heels, just to be here for a moment. And interlace your fingers. Doesn't matter if your hips are on your ankles or your hips are lifted. We're pressing arms out away from you and then lifting them up. Pressing your palms towards the ceiling, keeping length through your spine. And breathing all the while, and then let your arms come down. Roll your shoulders up to your ears. So a lot of shoulder stuff, a lot of chest opening. You're gonna interlace your fingers with the other hand kind of dominant. It's the way that feels weird. And press your fingers away from you, thumbs press down, and then lift your arms up. Palms press towards the ceiling as your spine lifts. As you breathe, take a nice deep breath in and let it go. Arms come down, shoulders up to your feet. Nice. We're gonna work with some sun salutations. So come into downward facing dog if that is a nice thing for you. You could always be in that modified down dog, that kind of happy dog pose we did at the beginning. Or maybe you lift your knees and then your hips lift. You can pedal out your heels, bending your knees. Oh, for some of us, this just feels very nice. But if you do not feel secure for whatever reason, bring your knees back down. Play with cows and cats, happy puppies, child's pose. But if it feels good in downward facing dog, you might take it to another level, bringing your big toes together to touch. And then extend your right leg behind you. You might bend your knee and press your foot up towards the ceiling and open up your hip. It's quite an adventure. Coming back to a neutral straight leg behind you. Bring your toes down. I'm going to bring my knees back down to the ground and bring your right foot between your hands for a lunge. And in your lunge, lifting your chest, I like to use blocks under my hands. Lifting your chest, curl your back toes underneath. Lift your back leg, still lifting your back knee, not your whole leg, not your foot, just your knee. Open up your chest, shoulders away from your ears, and then you're going to come to a forward fold. You can kind of get there, stepping your back foot up. Let your feet be wide to give your abdomen some more space. Let your hands come to blocks, folding forward, and then halfway lifted spine. Crown of your head extends towards the wall in front of you. Bring your hands to your hips. Bend your knees a little, chin to your chest, and lift yourself the rest of the way up. Find a sigh, find a little bit of a funky dance, and come into mountain pose. Now, mountain pose, your toes could be together to touch. I like my feet hip width distance, but I also wanted to mention about compression. If forward folds are bothersome to you in a mountain pose, you can step your feet further apart in a mountain pose. When you come to a forward fold, it might feel better. So, that's an option for you. Finding a comfortable place for your feet. And bring your palms together at heart center. Reach your arms up overhead, extend, open, and then fold forward. I've got my feet now mat width distance. That feels kind of good. Halfway lifted spine, length through your spine. Take a deep breath. And then fold forward, stepping back to find your tabletop again. You might come right into downward facing dog. That's fine. I'm going to come back into tabletop first, finding a cow and finding a cat. And then make my way into downward facing dog. Now, this time I put my blocks under my hands just to see how that feels. Again, giving myself a little bit more space for less compression through my abdomen, through my chest. Step your toes, big toes together to touch. And if you're feeling wily, you can extend your left leg behind you. And maybe you bend your knee and press your foot up and over to open up your left hip. Always optional. Even your hips back out, extend your leg behind you. Bring both or your toes to the ground, both knees to the ground, and then we'll come into a lunge. So coming into a lunge with your left foot in front of you. Got my hands on my blocks. I like it. Bring your toes underneath. Lift your back knee. Press through your foot or your heel, opening up your chest, shoulders moving away from your ears. Take a deep breath in and let it go. And then step yourself forward. Get there how you do. And I'm going to do that wider footed forward fold with my hands on blocks, my feet mat width distance to allow for some more space. And then halfway lifted spine. You could have your hands on your shins, on your upper legs. Shoulders away from your ears. Bring your hands to your hips, bend your knees. Chin comes towards your chest and lift yourself back up. The chin to chest, and then it lifts to help with regulating your blood pressure. Shake out your legs, shake out your feet. Give yourself a wiggle. Reestablish mountain pose. I've got this nice kind of wider stance for my mountain pose. It's like a little kind of a mini starish shape, a little mini star. That's what we call it, mini star. Bring your palms together at heart center. Find a smile. Take a breath. Breathe into the space between your palms, knowing that, already we've moved so much. Find a smile and reach your arms up overhead, all mountain, and fold forward. I've got my feet wide. Crown of your head dips down. Maybe your knees bend a little bit. Halfway lifted spine, length, axial extension through your spine. That's where the vertebrae sort of spread, and you can find that length there. Take a deep breath. And exhale, forward fold. Making your way back to a tabletop. And then into a child's pose. I like to have my big toes together to touch, my knees wide, and sinking the hips down. The wider your knees, the more space you're going to have for all of these goodies in your torso. Now let your forehead come down to the ground. Rock your forehead from side to side. And feel your breath. Just finding this is a little place of rest where we continue on. And find a sigh. Here's a great place to notice where your thoughts are going. And we're like a shepherd. We're like a really good shepherd. You're out there in the field and your thoughts are like all of these little sheep, and you look over and there's some, they're kind of button heads, and you're like, hey, and you just observe and you chuckle and you come back to the present moment and you look over on the other side of the pasture and there's a little sheep kind of eating some grass, or they're doing whatever little sheep do. You're thinking of your thoughts in that way where you're observing them, you're noticing them, you're not ignoring them. They're real, they're there. But you're just, that you don't have to interact with all of them. That you don't have to go and interject in the little butting head sheep or the little sheep that's eating grass. They're fine. You can just see them and come back to the present moment. I like that analogy. Take a deep breath and let it go. We're going to come all the way down to your belly. Making your way down to your belly. Let your hips come to rest. I like a blanket under my hips. Stack your hands and let your feet be maybe a little wider. Some people do this with their toes pointed out. Since I have bunions, that hurts me, so I let my tops of my feet come down to the ground. But maybe your toes point out and your big toes are against the ground, and that doesn't bother you if your toe joint isn't popping out. Just let your hips relax a little bit. I'm going to play with some belly back bends as well. So you might stay here. You can participate to whatever degree feels good. The first one is going to be a baby cobra. Let your big toes come together to touch. Bring your hands under your shoulders, elbows in towards your ribs. Axial extension of your spine. Lengthening your spine before you move it in different directions helps to protect it. Press your big toes down into the ground, tops of the feet into the ground. Press your hips into the ground and then begin to lift yourself up. Your hands peel your mat down towards you, away from the ears. And taking a nice deep breath in and letting it go. And then again, baby cobra. And you can kind of play around with this. Maybe your baby cobra gets a little bigger, inhaling, and then exhaling as you lower down. You can bring a cheek to the mat and then find a couple more baby cobras on your own breath, inhaling as you lift, and exhaling as you lower. Maybe your other cheek comes to the mat, or your forehead comes down. And you're still really engaging. You're pressing through the tops of your feet. You're pressing through your hips. Your elbows come in, so they're drawing inward. This lift really happening in your sort of mid-low back, helping to strengthen those muscles. Another deep breath in, and then let it go. Stack your hands. Let your forehead rest on the backs of your hands, bend your knees, and windshield wipe your feet, your legs side to side. And kind of move your ankles, move your feet. Make your way back into a child's pose, because that's a counter stretch to that back bend. So hands under your shoulders, lifting yourself up, kind of just a brief rounding of your spine. Even if your hips don't come all the way down towards your heels, just kind of rounding your spine. And if you are feeling froggy, you could find another downward facing dog. If you've had enough of downward facing dog, just get yourself into a forward fold, however you do. In downward facing dog, people, you're really pressing through your hands, your fingers, you're letting your head and neck relax. You're doing all of the downward doggy things that you enjoy about it, which is why you're doing it right now. And you breathe and you smile, and you're kind of working with your fascia, your habits and patterns, and you're shifting them. You're making little changes. Kind of make your way into that forward fold. It can be more ragdoll style. Remove any obstacles from your mat. Let your upper body release forward, and then press through your feet. Bend your knees and let your wrists move. Sway a little. And kind of weeping willow your way up towards standing. And keeping your chin tucked. And for some people, this doesn't work. In which case, you can always bring your hands to your hips, find a halfway lifted spine with your chin in towards your chest, and then lift yourself the rest of the way up. Shake yourself out. Give yourself a little shake. And I do some arm swings for the fun of it too. Feel rooted through your feet. Sink your feet into the ground and swing your arms forward and back. Careful not to whack anything. Nothing takes you out of this, it feels good to stretch and breathe experience than whacking your finger on a table. And smile and breathe, because we all share these human experiences. You're very unique in your bodily experience. You've had so many experiences over the years that I haven't had, and vice versa. But we all have these commonalities that we can kind of touch and understand. And isn't that beautiful? I'm gonna let your arms come down and just stand for a moment. Notice how you feel. It's been a little adventure already for you. And find a smile, take a deep breath, and let it go. I'm going to take your blocks if you have them, and we're going to do some standing postures. So I'm going to put my blocks on my highest setting at the back of my mat and come into mountain pose. Again, your mountain pose, we're not going to do a forward fold here, so you don't have to worry about stepping your feet wider if that felt good to you. Just however you like your feet for mountain pose. Feeling open through your chest. And then step your feet apart for triangle pose. I've heard different things from different people. Your feet should be 3 feet apart. Some of us do not have that. And it's okay if they're closer together. Both sets of toes face inward. Bring your hands to your hips. And I turn one set of toes in and feel that turning inward of your hip, of your leg. Your other set of toes turns out. You're gonna lengthen through your spine, that axial extension, and then begin to shift over your long leg. Your hand might come to your shin, fingertips coming to your block. I like that pretty much. Keep your other hand on your hip just to open up your shoulder, just to play with that action of opening your shoulder. Pressing through both feet. Maybe your hand is even up at your upper leg with your knee bent. So just no pressure on your knee. And then lift yourself up. Bring yourself to center. Turn your toes all to face forward. Lengthen your spine. Again, that neutralization of your spine helps to prevent injuries in your spine. Turn your toes in, turn your toes out, and begin to hinge over your leg. Yeah, maybe your fingertips come to a block, your palm to shin, and to upper leg with a knee bent. Open your chest. We're not lifting the arm yet. You will, don't worry. And then lift yourself back up. Turn all 10 toes to face forward. Wiggle walk your feet towards each other. We are going to do a little forward fold action, so your feet might stay further apart. Interlace your fingers at your low back and draw your knuckles down. Opening up your chest, halfway lifted spine, so hinging forward. Maybe you start to fold forward and let your knuckles go up towards the ceiling. This is opening up your chest, your shoulders. Of course, you're stretching the backs of your legs. And then let your knuckles lift you up. Keep your chin tucked as you come to the top. Press your knuckles down, maybe lift. Take a deep breath and let it go. Shake things out. Okay, we're gonna play again with some standing postures. Start with mountain pose. This time I'm gonna have my palms facing inward. Another variation. Notice palms facing inwards towards your body like a Christmas tree shape versus opening up your chest. Palms facing inward versus palms facing out, that anatomical positioning. Find a smile. Step your feet wide for triangle. This time you'll have the option to lift your upper arm. Hands to hips, toes turn in, toes turn out. Hinge over your leg, fingertips, hand goes where it does. Open your chest, and then if it feels good, you can reach your arm up. Yeah, fingertips towards the sky, thumb drawn in towards your first finger knuckles. I like to look straight ahead or down. If you are, if you feel like you like looking up, you can do that. Makes me dizzy. Take a deep breath. Let it go. Bend into your front knee. Side angle. Rotate your arm, palm faces inside, and then lift your finger, reach your fingers towards the upper corner of your room. Lift your arm back up towards the ceiling and reach yourself up straight in your front leg with your arms down. Other side, toes turn in, toes turn out. Here we go. Triangle pose. Open up your chest and then reach your arm up. Opening up that action of opening your chest, working to change the habits and patterns that we oftentimes find ourselves in physically. Bend into your front knee. I like the block to hold on to. Rotate your arm at the shoulder. Palm goes kind of over your head, fingertips Extend, side angle. Breathe and reach your arm back up, and it's like your fingers lift you all the way up. Straighten your leg, arm comes down. Turn your toes in, step your feet closer together. Give yourself a shake. And we're going to do let's do one more side angle by itself. First, mountain pose. Mountain pose. Feel the support beneath you. Step the feet apart. These open postures are just, they're easier for many of us for a variety of reasons. You're gonna do side angle. Bring your hands to your hips. Toes turn in, toes turn out, bend into your front knee and begin to hinge. Maybe your fingertips come to the block. Maybe your forearm rests on your upper leg. Reach your upper arm up, rotate it at the shoulder and fingertips towards the upper corner of your room. Side angle, length, oh, so much length through the tips of your fingers all the way down to the outside edge of your foot. Breathe and lift your arm, lift yourself up, straighten your leg. To the other side, toes turn in, toes turn out. Bend into your knee, side angle. Keep your little teapot hand on your hip. I like to bring my fingertips or my hand to the blocks. Maybe you have your arm on your leg. Reach your other arm up, opening your chest. Rotate your arm at the shoulder, and away you go. So angly. Breathing. Lift your arm up, lift yourself up, straighten your leg, all 10 toes face forward, step your feet together, give yourself a funky dance. Now we're going to do a wide-legged forward fold. Bring your blocks in front of you, if you have them. If not, that's okay. Step your feet wide. Here we are, wide feet again. These open postures. And just opening your body up. Toes face forward. They could now try turning them out. See how that feels. Maybe you turn your toes in and turn your heels out. See how that feels. Just play around with that to see which one feels better to you. Bring your hands to your hips. Lengthen through your spine, the axial extension, and then fold at the hips. Bring your hands down to blocks. And here you are, kind of opening your chest up. Before you fold forward, open your chest up. Maybe you even look forward. That's something in your low back. And then fold forward, bending your elbows. Your hands might stay on blocks. Your palms might walk in towards your big toes. Maybe the crown of your head comes down and lands on a block, or maybe it comes all the way to the ground. You can adjust yourself here. If this is too much strain on your inner legs, as it is for many people, step your feet closer together, find more of a ragdoll style fold, or hold on to the blocks. It doesn't have to be uncomfortable to the extent of pain. I don't want anyone to be in pain. I want you to enjoy that physical practice. Take your breath. Let it go. Inversions are calming for the nervous system. Walk your hands, forward folds, calming for the nervous system. Guess this isn't quite an inversion. I think it's nice. It's like a partial inversion. Let your hands walk out in front of you. Flat back, lengthening through your spine like we've done several times. That axial extension again. And then wiggle walk your feet towards each other, chin to your chest. Squat. If a squat feels like a good idea, you might stack your blocks and sit on them, or you might squat without that. I'm a big fan of this. It's a way that Westerners just don't hold our bodies. It is helpful for the strength and flexibility in your hips, your knees, your ankles. You want to keep those all working good. If it doesn't work for you, even with the blocks underneath of your bum, you just bring your bum to the ground. Absolutely fine. Again, we're all have very different bodily experiences. But if you're in a squat, be here for another moment. Lengthen through your spine, that extension, and then bring your bum to the ground. Extend your legs out in front of you. Bounce your knees, pat your legs, pat down, and your legs. They did such a good job holding you up. All right, move your ankles, move your wrists. We're going to do a supported bridge pose, a little with a little different variation. Those of you who are in Tuesday's class, you know what I'm gonna want you to do. And that's kind of nice too, because you also know if you liked it or not already. But what we're going to do, and then you can do something different. You can avoid the blanket. I'm gonna take this folded blanket and I'm gonna fold it kind of a long fold like so. My shoulders are going on this blanket. My neck is off of the blanket. My head is off of the blanket, but my shoulders are absolutely on the blanket. This is going to be a bridge with a little bit more of a chest opener. There are other ways to do this, but this is how I want to do it today. And then you have a block that you can either have on the lowest setting or the second setting. I wouldn't go all the way to the top. Watching me as I come down, and just kind of see what I do here. So I have my shoulders on the blanket. My chin comes in towards my chest here. My head is on the ground. And once I start to lift my hips, my neck is going to be more vulnerable. So it's important to keep that extension of your spine, length through your spine, and to avoid twisting, moving your head once you start to lift your hips. I'm gonna take my block, I liked it on the lowest setting. I'm gonna lift my hips and I'm going to bring the block under my sacrum. The block is not on your lumbar spine. It's not pressing on your lumbar spine at all. It's on your sacrum, on those fused vertebrae at the base of your spine. It's like right under your hip points. And this, for me, is quite restorative. I liked this variation. If having the blanket under your shoulders does not feel good to you for whatever reason, feel free to remove that blanket and find hips on a block. After my classes on Tuesday, I found that some people who have issues with their low back in this posture really liked this variation. It took the pressure off of their low back, and the chest opener was nice. But for other people, the chest opener didn't feel quite nice, depending upon, again, a lot of different structural situations. There's no right or wrong here. There's just working your practice to meet you in the best place possible to encourage your well-being. So if you get here, again, your chin is a little tucked towards your chest, you can just allow yourself to soften here. And you have an option to stay right here, or if it feels like a fun idea, you could extend one leg long with your heel on the ground, maybe both legs long with your heels on the ground. This is a little too much on my low back, so I'll alternate. I like to stretch out one leg for a breath or two, and then I bring that foot to the ground and stretch my other leg out. So this gives you more of a stretch through your hip flexor and maybe your pelvis. You might feel it all the way up into your abdomen. So you can play around with that. You can play around with the structure of your block. You might bring it up to that next higher height and extend each leg long. That's going to give you a deeper stretch. It's going to give you greater sensation through those muscles, the hip flexors, the abdomen, the pelvis. And you're breathing wherever you find yourself. We're going to be here for just another couple of moments. So you're allowing your body to be supported by the block and the blanket and the ground beneath you. Eyes are closing. Maybe this is super nourishing feeling, and you can even notice your nervous system kind of go, okay. Just breathing naturally. And pressing through your feet, returning them to the ground. If your heels are on the ground and your legs extended, feet come to the ground, lift your hips, remove your block, bring your hips to the ground, and remove that blanket from under your shoulders and come back to the ground. So you might have to roll to your side and then come back. You want to now neutralize your spine. So bring your feet to the ground and wiggle your hips, and let your back body wiggle like a bear scratching its back on a tree. You can also do what I've heard referred to as chugging, putting your feet on the ground and pressing into your feet. And as you do, you sort of rock your pelvis. The back of your head rocks as well, so you can get this little release through your spine. And bring your knees into your chest. Give them a squeeze and rock your knees from side to side as your head turns the opposite direction. Sacral rocking. And we're going to find a twist. There are many different twists we can do. I'm going to go for the one where my knees are together. So I have a blanket, and I'm going to bring my blanket to my right side. My knees are together in towards my chest. I'm going to extend my arms out to a T and let my legs fall to the right. If you have another blanket, you can even place it sort of between your knees, shins, and ankles as a little more support. Any other twist is fine. And you're gonna rest here in your twist for a few breaths. Coming back to notice what you start to think about. Again, it's very natural, and the whole purpose of a yoga teacher is to bring your students closer to a state of yoga, and bring yourself closer to a state of yoga. Yoga being not being as carried away by the mind. That's really what it is all about. And this is something that was understood thousands of years ago, that people's minds were all over the place. And here we are. I mean, think of how exponentially information and our lives have sped up from thousands of years ago. I have to imagine it's quite different. I could be wrong. And so these practices were developed back then. And now today, they really can assist us so greatly, because just as information and the speed of our lives has increased, so has our ability to process, to utilize techniques to help us function better. And take a deep breath and let it go. Bring your knees back to center. Let your feet come to the ground because we want to neutralize your spine. Wiggle your hips, maybe do some of that chugging, letting your hips, your head, your spine kind of neutralize. Just going to bring your blanket over to the left side if that worked for you. Maybe you even have another one or a pillow that you put between your knees, shins, and ankles, because that makes a difference for me. And bring your knees into your chest, give them a squeeze, let your chin come towards your chest, and then let both knees fall over to the left. I popped my blanket in between my knees, shins, and ankles, and let your arms extend. So here you are, utilizing a physical practice to shift your habits, to shift patterns that might be unhelpful, to strengthen your patterns that are helpful, to become more aware of the mind and how it races, and to start to see it from a different viewpoint. And this is a practice, never perfection. You're that little shepherd sitting there on the hill, enjoying your day, just gazing out over the pasture, seeing the little sheep in their little sheeply dramas, doing whatever they do, knowing that if something happens where where danger is presented, maybe you notice a wolf out of the corner of your eye, you're able to respond rather than react. You're not so caught up in the minutia and the little headbutting or the eating of grass that you can't say, okay, I need to just slowly step over in that direction and that wolf will see me and he'll retreat because he'll know I'm there watching. You don't have to freak out. You don't have to run after it maybe. Just make your presence known. You have this beautiful life, this beautiful experience of getting to observe your thoughts, becoming more responsive. Take a deep breath and let it go. And now coming back to a neutral place, going to press your feet into the ground, rock your hips, neutralize your spine, and make your way into your final relaxation. You can bring your hands to your hips. I like to do this and press your buttocks away, sort of tilting your pelvis, extend each leg. Maybe you have a bolster under your knees that can be very relaxing. Maybe you have a blanket under the back of your head. Again, very nice. And if you wear glasses, remove them, place them off to the side. Let your hands rest wherever they feel comfortable, maybe on your belly. Let your eyes close. Take a deep breath and let it go. And as you're resting here, noticing your breath, maybe even using your imagination to visualize that little hillside where you're a shepherd watching your sheep, just seeing what they're doing. That can be fun. Or maybe just noticing your breath, which can be a little trickier. Allow the benefits of your practice to resonate and to flow through every organ, every tissue, and every cell of your body. You can stay here as long as you'd like. The gift of your home practice. It is time to transition. Begin to make small movements with your fingers and your toes, your wrists and your ankles. And give yourself a full body stretch. Maybe a yawn. And then bend your knee and roll to your side. Let your head rest on your arm or blanket. Slowly press your way up to a seat, keeping your chin tucked until you come to the top. And as you arrive, you can kind of move your fleshy bits from your sits bones and rock a little from side to side, from front to back. Once again, experiencing that axial extension. The crown of your head extends towards the heavens, taking pressure off of your low back, creating space between each vertebrae. Bring a hand to your belly and a hand to your heart and offer yourself kindness, compassion, peace, love, and smile. Bring your palms together. Namaste means the light in me sees and honors that same light in each of you. Thank you so much for your practice today. Namaste. And I'm just so grateful for your practice, to get to spend time with you. And I hope you have a really just delightful rest of your weekend.